Hello and welcome to my kitchen. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a very popular restaurant dish called Tadka Dal. It's so yummy and honestly, it's so easy to make. I'm going to show you how, so let's get cooking. For this recipe, you'll need 1 cup or 200 grams of Chana Dal, also known as split chickpeas, 2 small onions, which I'll peel and slice, and 2 small tomatoes, which I'll be chopping up, a half a teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1 teaspoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon of turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon of curry powder, and here I'm using a mild Madras curry powder, 1 teaspoon of grated ginger, and 1 or more green chilies depending on how hot you like it. And you'll need 3 tablespoons of oil. Here I've mixed up 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil with 2 tablespoons of sunflower oil. If you're not vegan, I do recommend adding some ghee to this. So if you add 1 or 2 tablespoons of ghee and the remaining in sunflower oil, it will taste absolutely delicious. The first thing to do is to look over your dal and remove any foreign particles, any small stones or any bad looking dal that you see in there. Then give it a quick rinse under some running water. I'm going to cook my Chana Dal in my Instant Pot, and so I'm going to put my dal into my Instant Pot and add 2 cups of room temperature water to it, and then I'm going to cook it on a high pressure for 12 minutes. Make sure your keep warm button is turned off on the Instant Pot and make sure your valve is set up properly. Now while my dal is cooking in my Instant Pot, I'm gonna get my onions sliced up and my tomatoes diced up. And then I'm gonna get ready to do the tempering. Now for the tempering, I'm going to use a pan like this, a saucepan with a lid. This one is 2.5 quarts or 2.3 liters. And I'm going to set it to heat on a medium-high heat, so the number 6. So the pan's been heating up for a while, and I'm now going to add my oil in here, and I'm going to let the oil heat up for about 30 seconds. Now you may be thinking I should be adding the cumin seeds in next, but this is how you're supposed to make it. You're supposed to add the onions in first. So give that a good stir, and once everything's mixed in nicely, then we're going to sprinkle the cumin seeds on top. This way the cumin seeds don't overcook. And we're going to let these onions cook until they're a beautiful golden color and very slightly crisp. Now my onions are coming along nicely and my Instant Pot has finished pressurizing, so we're just going to let the pressure release naturally. Alright, so the onions look really nice and golden now, so I'm actually going to remove like a spoonful into my little bowl here and keep them on the side, because that we're going to use to garnish. Now the next step with these onions is to add the tomatoes and the remaining spices. And my green chili, I'm just going to, you can either just slice it big or you can chop it into small pieces. I'm just going to quarter it and throw it in there. We're just going to mix this in and let the tomatoes soften up. Now, if you're curious as to which brand of curry powder I'm using, I'm just using this one that I bought in my supermarket. It's Raja brand and it's mild Madras curry powder, and everyone's Tadka Dal will taste different depending on what type of curry powder they use. but I find that this one works really well for this tadka dal, so you might want to give it a try. So keep stirring it and make sure that your tomatoes soften up really nicely. And once they're soft, you can go ahead and turn off the heat and wait until the pressure on your chickpea, your split chickpeas has finished, I guess. That's what you say when the pressure has released. That's what it's called. Okay, so I'm going to let this cook for another minute or so and then I'll turn it off. All right, so the pressure has released. There we go. And you just want to make sure that the chickpeas are cooked. And these split chickpeas do take a long time to cook. So they're al dente, they're not completely cooked, but they're not split either. They're not like breaking up. So these could do with another 2 to 3 minutes more of pressure cooking, because they're not as soft as I'd like them to be. So I'm going to put these back and let them pressure cook for another 3 minutes, I think. So I'm ending up having to pressure cook my split chickpeas for a little bit longer, but that's okay. You don't want them overcooked and a complete mush and your dal to be completely smooth. You want some texture to it, but I felt that this was not cooked enough. So when you're making it, you can go ahead and do it for 12 minutes. You can do it for the 15 minutes to start out. Just make sure they're not overcooked. When I did it on my stovetop, it literally took 1 hour and 15 minutes to boil the split chickpeas to the right texture, which I thought was too long. So that's why I'm doing it in my Instant Pot. Well, I'm just gonna enjoy my cup of tea. All right, so now for the second set of cooking, so that was an additional 3 minutes, so 15 minutes in total, and I'm just gonna check it. Oh yeah, much better. The texture is much better. So 15 minutes is good, and you can see that it's still quite whole, and that's what you're looking for, but when I press it, it's nice and soft like that. That's what you're looking for. So you can either add the dal to the tempering or the tempering to the dal. Either way, you can cook it in your Instant Pot or you can cook it in your saucepan. I'm going to cook it in my saucepan. So I'm just going to add this dal to my onion and tomato sauce. So I've just turned on my heat on a medium-low, which is number 4. And I'm going to add a little bit of water to the dal because I think it's a little bit too thick. And then just give it a stir and mix it in and let it simmer. All right, so it's been simmering just for a couple of minutes, not too long, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And it looks and smells amazing, but I am gonna let it simmer a little bit longer so that the flavors can really meld together. So an additional 5 minutes and it looks like it is done. Look at that. So this is what you want the texture to be like. You don't want it completely mushy. You want there to be some bite to it. So I'm going to turn off the heat now. And then I'll be garnishing it with the onions that I saved and with some chopped coriander. Now this tadka dal goes really well with naan, roti and rice to make a full of protein delicious meal. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you all soon for some more cooking inspiration.